Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Beyond the Cart NetSuite B2B Ecommerce Demo, brought to you by Oracle NetSuite. My name is Owen Phelan. I manage the NetSuite Ecommerce Center of Excellence, and I'll be your moderator today. Just a few things before we begin. Today's webinar will consist of a live product demonstration, followed by a Q&A session. This webinar is designed to be interactive, and we encourage your participation. Please use the Q&A widget to submit any questions you may have. We'll answer as many questions as we can. However, if we don't get to your question, we'll follow up with you directly after the webinar. This webinar is being recorded, and you'll be sent a link to the replay in a few days. So at this time, please take a brief moment to review the following safe harbor statement. Joining me as a presenter today is Praveen Vimapalli, an e-commerce solution consultant. And our agenda is as follows. I'll begin with a brief high-level overview of the NetSuite B2B Ecommerce solution. Following that, I'll pass the floor over to Praveen, who will provide a live demonstration of SuiteCommerce and its B2B capabilities. After that, I'll cover a few customer stories on the success that they've had since migrating to NetSuite Ecommerce. And then finally, we'll have a live Q&A session for the last minutes together. So Forrester estimates that B2B commerce will reach $889 billion by the end of 2017 and will continue to grow, reaching $1.2 trillion and accounting for 13.1% of all B2B. Obviously, this is a huge opportunity to increase revenue for all of your businesses. And the numbers shown here, really tell it all. B2B companies are increasingly adopting a digital-first approach to selling in response to digital-first buyer behavior. B2B sellers are building online operations to take advantage of the opportunity to reduce the cost to serve, drive more revenue overall, and build lasting omnichannel customer relationships. Frankly, nowadays B2B buyers don't care what channel they research, buy, and service in. They just expect a seamless and compelling digital-first buying experience across all channels, both online and offline. NetSuite provides a unified cloud-based commerce platform to enable a seamless and compelling digital-first buying experience across all channels. And the key difference with NetSuite Ecommerce versus all other point traditional e-commerce solutions out there is that NetSuite Ecommerce is part of the same unified platform as NetSuite ERP and CRM. There's no integration needed between systems. And because of this, NetSuite Ecommerce has access to essentially any record or field stored in NetSuite back office in real time, whether it's data leverage in delivering the front-end experience and driving conversion and revenue online, or managing back-end operations efficiently. Examples of this include customer information on the Customer 360, such as negotiated contract terms and outstanding balances calculated based on credit limits for B2B buyers, over to real-time inventory per location, and even omnichannel transactional details. All of these can be leveraged in the website seamlessly in real time. SuiteCommerce offers a B2C-like shopping experience for your B2B buyers. And this includes capabilities such as response design, so that the site will automatically rescale, resize, whether your B2B buyers are on their desktop at the office or on their smartphone at a customer site. Also included is faceted navigation to guide and help your customers narrow down and discover the products most appropriate for their requirements. An enterprise-grade, rich and robust site search that includes fuzzy matching capabilities to locate the correct items and drive that fastest pathway to conversion, as well as dynamic merchandising capabilities as well, where either you can have upsell, cross-sell calculations to increase the average order size, or you can even set up very discrete business rules where you're able to segment products based upon any metric on the item master. So, for instance, in a more of an industrial scenario, you could, for instance, show products that have, let's say, a certain flow rate, are made of bronze, and that you have an overstock scenario of in a specific warehouse if you wanted to move that inventory. That's all possible now. Now, SuiteCommerce includes many strategies and functionalities to drive buying efficiencies. And this is critical in B2B, as for purchasers, this isn't like shopping at home on their couch. This is part of their workday. So we want to have a seamless shopping experience for them and drive that fastest pathway to conversion so that they can get on to the next task, their workday. And this includes capabilities such as customer-specific product pricing that can be based upon contracts, quantity and volume tiered pricing, product lists, where buyers are able to compile a list of products and then assign them to, say, specific projects, or even for future planned purchasing, such as seasonal purchasing. Also includes bulk order and reorder capabilities, including adding multiple items to the cart by SKU, so a common task for purchasing agents. Creating and requesting a quote through a quote cart, converting an online quote to a sales order, and that includes a negotiation process with a sales rep. That's all natively supported. And additionally, restricting the ability to view catalog enter prices, or in other words, private catalogs. Also included within SuiteCommerce is robust self-service account management capabilities. And this is tailored specifically for B2B as well. Highlights of this include the ability to place order on terms that will take into account the calculated outstanding balance based upon the negotiated credit limit. This is all right out of the box native. Also, the ability to view and pay outstanding omnichannel invoices. So regardless of the channel that the order originated in, whether it was with your local sales rep or through EDI or through fax or, of course, online, the invoices will be exposed to the portal, and then your customers can take action against those. They can also view previous orders across all channels, cancel orders, and generate PDFs of these orders, as well as PDFs of their full account history and account statements. They're also additionally able to create and request quotes in this form through a quote form, and then additionally, they can still convert a quote to a sales order through this portal as well. Building upon the native B2B capabilities included in SuiteCommerce, we're also able to offer SuiteSolutions, which are customized, pre-built B2B modules that can be delivered by our professional services organization. And this includes additional advanced capabilities such as delegated purchasing to support multiple levels of purchasing approval and budgets for within your own customers' businesses, customer segments, or in other words, customer-specific catalogs based upon login or URL, microsites, where you're able to quickly spin up sites tailored for, say, specific markets or specific customers, third-party shipping capabilities to build the customer's own account or use additional shipping specific to customer type, a calculated product lead time, as well as matrix multi-add to cart directly from the product page for efficient bulk ordering. NetSuite Ecommerce is also focused on performance, as fast sites will first of all rank higher in search engines, part of Google's algorithm as well as Bing's ranking calculations. It'll also increase sales conversions and page views, as all of us have been cultured to click, click, click through sites. We really don't have patience anymore, wait while a page loads. And all of this results, of course, as well in improved customer satisfaction, which at the end of the day will also mean return business for your website. And we achieve this by utilizing a single-page architecture and included it at no additional cost an enterprise-grade content delivery network so that your website will be hosted globally and will deliver the content to your customers from the edge server that they are closest to physically, whether they're in their office or on-site at a customer facility around the world. And in fact, we have a team dedicated to performance at NetSuite, and we regularly benchmark our live customer sites that are running SuiteCommerce with the 10 fastest B2C websites available, and that would comprise the industry index. And examples of industry index sites include Apple.com, Tiffany, and Overstock. When benchmarking for a typical shopping flow, landing on the home page, going to a category, searching for an item, going to that item, adding it to cart, checking out, etc., our live customer sites on average perform 33% faster than these other industry-leading sites. And due to the leading, robust B2B capabilities built natively right into NetSuite Ecommerce, we have widespread industry recognition, including, as shown here, Forrester ranking us as a leader in their most recent wave for B2B commerce suites. And in particular, they focused on the capabilities of the platform as well as the fast time to market and low cost of ownership that NetSuite Ecommerce offers. Now, at this point, I'm going to turn the floor over to Praveen, who will now step through a live example of SuiteCommerce B2B. Praveen?
Sounds good, Owen. Thanks for that. As I share my screen here for you guys, I'd like to mention the three main topics in my agenda that we'll be covering today. First will be the omni-channel B2B dynamic shopping experience, which includes capabilities such as pre-negotiated pricing, customer-specific catalogs, and grid-based ordering options. Secondly, we'll look at our customer portal that allows B2B clients to not only view invoices and pay bills, but also brand new functionality to create and manage their own employee accounts, set spending limits, purchase authorization rules, and much more. And finally, the third topic will be to cover our drag and drop site management tools that allows your team to manage the website without any developers involved. All right, so let's get started with the B2B dynamic shopping. Within our Suite Office storefront here, which offers a rich B2C-like purchasing experience with B2B capabilities built right in. And that's important these days because whether you're a techie like myself shopping at home for, let's say, printer cartridges or toner for your own personal use, or you might be at work trying to order new equipment for your team or perhaps yourself, as I'm about to order some sweet 3D printers from our office here in Dallas, most of us have come to expect and demand the same level of intuitive experience, speed, and moreover ease of use in either scenario, regardless of whether we're shopping on a mobile device or a desktop. Speaking of mobile and desktop devices, it is important to point out that NetSuite Ecommerce, as Owen mentioned earlier, supports an end-to-end responsive and mobile-friendly experience. So what this means is that customer is using, if they're using their mobile device or a desktop, just a single version of your site will be rescaled and served to them. And that's really important for your IT teams to help reduce the overheads as they no longer have to manage multiple applications. To demonstrate this, I'm going to go into the responsive design mode of my browser. And as you see here, we're in the iPhone 7 or mobile view. The same exact site that was being displayed for a desktop is now being rendered for a smaller screen. And we're able to support this as true definition of responsive design by using CSS media queries, image resizing, and flexible grids. So the content that was previously being rendered in a multi-column view is now being displayed in a single column on the screen for mobile users. We also follow usability best practices to show within the template user-friendly back-to-top navigation, also the hamburger icon in the top left corner, to show consistent navigation regardless of the touch point, whether it's a mobile device or a tablet for that matter. Again, the key is to show the same content across all device types, and do note that responsive design is the preferred and recommended strategy by Google to support mobile users. So if your website is responsive, as NetSuite e-commerce sites are, you should most definitely receive a boost in the search engine results pages when searched from within a mobile device. And all this is built right into the platform, including full HTTPS support for shopping and checkout as well. Apart from this sort of great dynamic mobile shopping experience that we've just taken a look at, if I scroll down, another built-in capability within the platform is dynamic merchandising rules, as highlighted here on my screen. Now, this is a very simple omni-channel business rule that's being shown here called best-selling 3D printers. And this isn't just showing 3D printers within the realm of a siloed e-commerce solution. In fact, it's across entire SuiteOffice's entire operation, including perhaps orders that this might be placing in the field, customer service transactions, and any other channels that they may have in addition to their online web stores. And the reason for why NetSuite eCommerce is able to uniquely support this is because it's a single unified platform across the entire business. In other words, NetSuite eCommerce is literally one of the same as NetSuite CRM, as NetSuite ERP. Single source of truth. It's a single database for your entire business and absolutely no integrations needed whatsoever. And I can't stress that enough for any of my clients. So if we're able to leverage any information on the item master in real time to power this product display, you can only imagine what the personalization experience for your customers can be, as you can leverage profit margin, its pricing, stock levels, and things like that to essentially move inventory that might be otherwise overstock, increase your cash flow, your average order size on your through your website, and much, much more. Now that we've covered what merchandising rules are and how you can extend the capability on your website as a business user, because again, all that can be configured by a business user and literally dragged in onto your website anywhere you would like to place it. Let's address how you can navigate through the site. Your customers could take a look at static landing pages that you may configure using our site management tools, such as About Us or Frequently Asked Questions. They could look at or explore our dynamic pages, such as our GeoIP-based dealer locator that comes with the platform, or request form to fill out forms and request information, which if filled out can create real-time leads into our NetSuite CRM, again, because of our unified platform, or browse to the various categories and subcategories of products that are exposed here by your merchandisers, where they may boost products or unboost them as they see fit. But for interest of time, let's go into the Shop All to take a look at what all the products are being exposed by SuiteOffice publicly. Within the storefront, we see about 229 products being exposed here to consumers right now, where they're not authenticated at this present time. Also, in addition to that, on the left is our faceted, or also what's known as an attribute-based search, which allows business users to configure any attribute within the item master that they want to expose to allow their customers to filter by, whether it's colors being displayed as a color palette, whether it's a collapsed menu option that shows single select options, or multi-select options as you see here. It's also a dynamic and successive search, and what I mean by that in simple terms is that if I were to click on, let's say, the displace value within the category attribute, it's going to automatically hide any additional attribute that is no longer relevant to the screen or to the user based on the products being returned on the screen. So as I do that, you notice that the products quickly update on the right-hand side, and those additional options have disappeared. This strategy has proven to decrease the actual time it takes to actually load the page, render the page, but also increase conversions for your customers as well. And moreover, as I click on additional options such as monitors in this particular case, it's a guided selling approach built into NetSuite eCommerce because the customer is focused on the products at hand, and at the same time, the products are loading instantaneously without the entire page having to refresh. The reason for this is because NetSuite eCommerce is built for performance, and it's using something called AJAX, or asynchronous JavaScript, throughout the website. In simple terms, we're only updating the part of the website that needs to be refreshed, in this case, this area right here, without having to reload each and every page to reduce the amount of payload or the data that goes from a data center back to the end user's computer. All this, of course, is also cached within our global content delivery network with over 100,000 different servers around the world so that we can distribute the content that much faster to your customers. Again, this is to help speed up your website, prevent your shoppers from abandoning the experience, and help increase conversions as well. The NetSuite e-commerce platform also offers, as Owen mentioned in the previous presentation, a fuzzy text matching search engine, which is an enterprise-grade search engine built in natively to the platform such that as users search for words or for products, and in this particular case, as I'm searching for notebooks, I've actually misspelled the item, the fuzzy matching system is intelligently matching the products as it's looking at the relationship between the letters to display the results. If I were to click on any of these recommended products, it would take me straight to the product details page for that item. Instead, I'll just click on See All Results to see what that shows us. And this is an example of an optimized search for notebooks, and with 20 items being displayed on the screen. Note that the keyword search is actually powered by the same faceted search engine where it's showing a segmented amount of attributes based on the keyword search that took place. This is proven to help increase conversions and customer satisfactions as you're truly helping customers narrow down the selection and keep them interested on their exact interests within this product listing page. Speaking of this product listings page, or search results page actually, from an aesthetics and look and feel perspective, this is just one example of what it could look like. By no means are you constrained to this particular look and feel, whether it's on a grid view as you see here, or a list view, or a table view. You have full control of what the experience could be like, because as NetSuite eCommerce is leveraging HTML5 and JavaScript and CSS3 to build out the end user experience. You have total flexibility whether you're trying to achieve a themed approach or a pixel perfect design based on the requirements from your design agency. And on this particular listings page, you may have noticed by now that NetSuite eCommerce is actually not displaying any product pricing on the site. And that's because this is a B2B website and customers may have to log in to view their account-specific pricing that's natively supported. But NetSuite eCommerce, in addition, has multiple different ways to allow merchants to configure their B2B experience. You may optionally choose to expose potentially MSRP pricing to the public and allow customers to see their price after they log in, or possibly gate the entire website until they actually log in and provide their credentials. Or last but not least, they may be automatically logged in using single sign-on to potentially support B2B punch-out catalogs from, let's say, an Oracle or some other industry standard e-procurement system. All this is possible now with our platform. Additionally, you may choose to segment the product catalog to only show relevant items as they pertain to a given customer and their employees who actually log in on their behalf. So as I click on Login to see price for a given item or anywhere on the page, you'll notice that instead of the 20 results for the notebooks that you see here on this page, myself, as I'm an employee here pretending to work for Smart Tech Supplies in this role, will access a much smaller set of notebooks that has been made available to me. So, and this is only possible because of our unified platform where the CRM and the PIM are working hand in hand to define the actual segmentation in real time. This could also be a great use case where your customer, in this case Smart Tech Supplies, has predetermined the hardware for its employees, thus resulting in only 4 notebooks being displayed for me as an employee of Smart Tech Supplies. So I can only choose these laptops as an employee of the company. And while we're on the topic of quickly adding items to check out, NetSuite eCommerce also offers something called a quick view that allows customers to quickly add an item to their shopping cart to be on the fastest path of conversion. Or optionally, customers may also add items to their reorder guides by clicking on a given item and selecting if they want to add an item to their notebooks reorder guide. And this is an omni-channel reorder guide. And that's really important because sales reps and your customer service reps have real-time visibility to these lists. And they can even market and segment against them and potentially build product lists on behalf of your customers. So when customers log in, they can see these lists, these tailored lists within their accounts and be on a single click away from converting that list into a sales order and generate revenue right through checkout. Another sort of key capability and a differentiator of our platform is native sales quote capabilities in the platform. So if I were to click this item to add to quote, this Toshiba laptop has now been added to my quote request form, which I can take a look in a new tab here just to open it up. You can see that this sales quote allows the customer to build a quote request and submit any items that they're building out and request for special pricing and route this quote using the routing rules defined within the ERP and the CRM. All this is only possible without any integration or customization, only because NetSuite Ecommerce is unified and it's one of the same as ERP or CRM, and it's a single source of truth. So let's close this out at this time and also close out the quick view because I want to go ahead and see if I can find the 3D printers that I'm looking for and see actually how much they cost. We'll go back to the main shop all screen, and you'll notice now in my segmented view, I can only see 29 products because SmartTech Supplies has been given a segmented view of their products along with their applicable pricing assigned to their account. Speaking of pricing, NetSuite Ecommerce can also support complex pricing rules configured directly within our own unified business management platform where the markups or discounts might be applied to one or multiple customers or products, or potentially a combination of both, or maybe even they have date effectivity rules with start and end dates of those price rules, so they may automatically go into effect or expire and reflect on your website without any manual updates of pricing. Managing these sort of complex rules typically in point commerce solutions, and especially keeping them in sync with order management systems or let's say your ERP, is an extremely daunting and painful task, and it's typically not recommended. However, with NetSuite Ecommerce, we can support this seamlessly because our unified rules-based contract pricing module in the ERP helps facilitate this. I'll go ahead and click on 3D printers to see what all 3D printers are available. And in this filtered results set, at this point, let's take a look at a couple of different ways of actually how we can see what the product details page could look like. So I'll come back to the previous 3D printer shortly. Let's take a look at a standard item, in this case a 3D printer triple head printer. And note that the look and feel of these pages is completely up to you as it's pure HTML5 and CSS. The very first thing I would like to point out is that NetSuite Ecommerce comes in built in with a high-res image gallery in this case with image zooming capability, so you don't have to rely on third-party zoom controls or third-party Scene 7-like controls because it's all native. Also, from a merchandising perspective, you only have to upload 4 large images, in this case for the 4 views being rendered, and the platform will automatically resize them into small, medium, large, extra large images based on the configuration that you've defined within your storefront. And all this is to greatly speed up the time so that as you're launching new products on your website, this can decrease the maintenance time as well. It's also important to note that from a B2B customer perspective, customer-specific pricing with tiered volume, the ability to show real-time stock levels, again, because NetSuite Ecommerce, NetSuite Inventory, it's all one of the same. Whether you decide to show specific stock levels or show specific back-in-stock messages or notify me when it's back in stock, all this is possible with the platform. Additionally, social media integration with the capability to expose rich pins and Twitter cards are also native. And all this is, again, to help drive traffic to your website if that's of interest to your business. As I scroll down the page, you'll notice that there's a built-in review engine in the platform. This is included at no additional cost and provides your team full moderation control of what content actually gets published on your site, along with schema.org semantic markup, which allows for rich content such as star ratings, stock availability, product price, to actually appear within the organic search results pages, which in fact drives more click-throughs to your website. And all this is built right into our platform from day one, and there's no need for additional customization to manage any of that. And as a merchandiser, note that you can also configure related items within the product page, as you see here, and which might be in this case as customers are looking at the triple head 3D printer, these appropriate cartridges must be displayed each and every time, that's also possible. But as I've progressed down further, you'll notice an algorithmic-based recommendation engine, which allows NetSuite to calculate based on the omni-channel transaction history across your entire organization to see how your customers are purchasing, what other products, perhaps through your sales reps or through your customer support team. All this can now be exposed, and it allows your content to be dynamic and refreshed as this algorithm updates the underlying data on a daily basis. And this is really to help increase the average order size and also to keep your website fresh and current. Note that NetSuite Ecommerce can also natively support drop ship scenarios, special orders where cross-docking might be required, assembly items with bill of materials that trigger additional work orders. In fact, in this particular demo, I've configured this 3D Systems Cubify item to be a drop ship item. So I'll go ahead and add this to my cart. And this is an example of an add to cart confirmation screen, what it could look like. You could potentially configure it to not even show up and allow the user to go directly to the shopping cart. I'll go ahead and continue shopping because let's explore another possible view of how a customer may shop on the product details page. So something that also is possible is a matrix order sheet format for customers. And our B2B customers have come to love this because it dramatically cuts down the amount of time it takes for them to order multiple items, perhaps with additional accessories that they may want to order at the same time. Or in this case, I'm able to order this specific 3D printer with a US power supply or a UK power supply or a Chinese power supply, along with the different color options that are exposed here. This layout supports tiered pricing as well, where each color or size or option may have different pricing or different stock level, be exposed and be available for customers to see in real time. And as I increase the actual quantity, you'll see that the subtotals below will actually update, and I can go ahead and add multiple items to the cart with a single click of a button. And in this particular case, I'm taken directly to the shopping cart. Now, what's interesting in this particular scenario is that the system is saying that your spending limit for the period is over by $2,500 or so. And the reason for this is because I, as an employee of Smart Tech Supplies, have been given a spending limit of $3,500 to spend in any given period, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annual, that can be defined. But since I'm going over by roughly $2,500, I'm being asked to update this cart before I can proceed to checkout, as it's currently disabled. So I'll go ahead and temporarily park one of these items to order perhaps at a future date. Perhaps this UK power supply item, I'll order that later. And take a look here. The spending limit is still a little bit over, but I actually have a promotion code that I can go ahead and apply to bring this cart value down. So as I apply my promotion code, and know that promotion codes can be sliced and diced across customers, across items, and they can be very specific with our advanced promotion engine, which comes natively with the platform. As you notice here, the original price has been stricken off, and it shows the updated price, and now I'm within my spending limit, and there is no additional warnings being displayed. It's also important to note that B2B customers can also quickly add items if they're wanting to use the traditional ordering methodology, if perhaps they're ordering from a catalog or they have all the part numbers or SKUs memorized. They can type the SKUs and quantities and add them in bulk to go through the fastest path of conversion, and that's natively offered with the platform as well. As I scroll down the page, there are some upsell capabilities that are built into the platform, such as the ability to show recently viewed items. You may also like items, customers who also bought, to show the upsell criteria, as we never want to leave any revenue on the table. And this is a great way to personalize the experience and compare the actual results based on all of the items in the shopping cart instead of a single item example that we saw earlier. And this is all native within the platform. As I click out to checkout, note that NetSuite Ecommerce, we are fully level 1 PCI compliant, and that's the highest level of compliance that anyone can attain, and that comes out of the box for you, and that liability certification entirely lies on our shoulders. Also note that the checkout can be configured as a single-step checkout or a multi-step checkout. It's completely your preference, and you can configure that with a few clicks within the back office. in this particular checkout, I also noticed that B2B capabilities such as split shipments, where I can choose to ship a particular item to one address and another item to a different address. I can do that against multiple line items or even against multiple quantities within a single line item. For a given shipping address, I can choose to ship to a single ship address or choose to ship it to another ship address by changing the address or editing the address. It's all native functionality. NetSuite eCommerce also understands and remembers what the preferred shipping method for a given customer is, and it can persist that and even allow customers to put in their billed third-party freight account numbers directly through checkout so that just in case they would like to have the freight bills billed to their own account, that can also be natively supported with full TMS integration built in with our core platform. Again, the unified platform at work at its best. The platform supports multiple payment options. B2B customers love to order typically through ACH. Our payment partners at NetSuite support ACH for you to extend the capabilities. And customers also like to order through invoices and assuming that terms and credit limits have been assigned to their account. Credit cards are also available, and PayPal or other alternative methods can also be exposed depending on your preference. Purchase order numbers or any additional information can also be typed in along with shipping dates or files that they may want to attach. They can also configure as much data that they want to collect from the customer as they continue through checkout. And when the order is placed, in this particular case, I can review the order and go ahead and place the order. Placing the order is instant. The minute the order is placed, it shows up in real time within the NetSuite Business Management Platform, and this is just a quick snapshot of what the NetSuite platform looks like. From an analytics perspective, customers are able, in this case, I'm logged in as a customer service rep as Catherine Nguyen. She, as an e-commerce administrator, is able to take a look at e-commerce analytics that pertain to her interest and what she needs to report up to her bosses for. But she also can leverage data coming from Google Analytics and also merge that information within her own reporting that she reports on. Going to the customer profile, which is myself in that particular case as an employee of SmartTech Supplies, as I refresh the screen, we'll notice that the order that we just placed, 111604, which was the same order that we placed online, shows up here within the platform in real time. Now, as I open this order up, we'll notice that this order actually is in a pending approval status. Also, important to note that from this view, a customer service rep has full access to see the financial details like the terms, the price level exposed to this customer, the default shipping method, the cards on file can be used for future reorders. Also, any support cases that may be created are also visible, along with the reorder guide is visible for the customer service reps to access and edit as mentioned earlier. The order that previously placed is in a pending approval status, and this again is a clear differentiator of NetSuite's e-commerce platform because we offer not only a commerce platform, but a business management platform along with it, which is able to offer workflow rules that you can define and configure, where in this particular case, I've defined a rule that any order over $1,000 being placed by SmartTech employees must be approved by a SmartTech manager. So we'll take a look at that shortly of how the delegated user management looks like and explore that shortly as well. So in this case, for myself who had placed the order, if I were to go into my account, I would have a limited view within my account to see my purchase history, which is the order that we just placed. I can also see any pending quotes on my account. I can reorder those items. I can go ahead and go into my order guide, choose to add the entire list to cart with a single click of a button as mentioned. I can also go into my support cases, existing support cases, and see the entire correspondence history of any cases that may exist within my account. Same information as the customer service rep is visible for customers to view as well. But since at this point, this order that we just placed is in the pending approval stage, let's log in as a SmartTech manager and the manager of myself working for the company who's going to go ahead and view the order history and also at the same time, hopefully approve this order instead of rejecting it because I really want these printers. So I'll go ahead and log in here. And as I do that, Okay. As I do that, you'll notice that as a manager, I have additional capabilities and additional reporting at my fingertips. I have the ability to not only see the recent purchases, to show purchases across my team that have been possibly shipped, along with the tracking numbers. Perhaps a shipment has multiple shipments or multiple packages. It can also show that in a simple use here, where they can be clicked to track them seamlessly, along with some reports where I can see my team's purchase activity, that it might be pending approval, along with some graphs and reports that are available. But for purposes of time, I'm going to take a look at this order that is currently in a pending approval status that the manager has to approve. I could choose to click on the order and choose to approve it instantaneously or reject it. Or alternatively, I can click on that order and go into the details. Possibly I want to remove a line item, or I want to edit some of the line items to increase the quantity before I approve it. I can do that by clicking on Edit Items. And once I've gone ahead and I'm happy with what the order looks like, I can go ahead and approve the purchase. As the order is being approved, again, all this happens in real time because of our unified platform, and it shows up within the NetSuite Business Management Platform. So as the order is approved, you notice that the order number that's 604 that's currently pending approval, as I refresh the screen, will show in a pending fulfillment stage because now it has been approved and the full audit trail is visible. And more importantly, remember that item that was a drop ship item that has now automatically been dispatched out to that supplier, and the purchase order number 2197 has been automatically created by the NetSuite Business Management Platform and has been notified to the supplier using EDI or perhaps eFax or email, depending on whatever relationship and technological capabilities that that supplier supports. So now this purchase order for a dropship order for Printers Plus is instructing them to ship this particular 3D shipment directly to the address that I provided during checkout. And as this order is updated by this drop shipper, it will automatically update this particular sales order so that information can reflect in real time within the NetSuite Ecommerce platform as well. Okay? All this is out of the box. Another key value add of delegated user management and order management is the fact that managers are able to manage their own employees. So any employee that reports up to me within this manager role, I have visibility into them. I can go in and modify their preferences or even create new employees on the fly. Or perhaps this data is coming in through single sign-on. Anything is definitely possible. And the rules of how my particular company, SmartTech Supplies, will react. So in this particular case, $1,000 is the use case that is being approved, is also updated here in this particular case. Looks like I had 100 before, but as you notice, it can be simply changed that way as well. Okay. Another key aspect of our platform is the ability to offer B2B billing capabilities to customers. So customers, your customers are able to access their open balances, their invoices, their credit limits. And in this case, they have an extremely large credit limit and an outstanding balance that's due. Really good customer here. And they also have some credit memos on file. So I'll go ahead and continue to payment. And you'll notice that I have visibility to see all invoices. The key here is that your customers have real-time access to all the statements, the invoices, so they can even make payments against those invoices. I'll make a partial payment in this case, just for demonstration purposes, just so that you can see how this works against multiple invoices taking place against a single payment option. Now here, in this case, these two invoices are being paid by a credit memo that's already on file. Perhaps I don't want to use my credit memo for this transaction. Perhaps I want to pay it with a credit card or ACH. I can do that as well natively. By submitting this request, the transaction has a real-time GL impact, and your accounting folks are definitely happy because they're getting all the access to the payments, and at the same time, your accounts receivable folks are happy because they're no longer having to answer the phone with your customers to say, where are my invoices? I didn't receive them in the mail. Customers have 24/7 access to look at their transaction history, print out statements, and all of this is only possible because of our unified platform and real-time system. So at this point, I'm going to pivot over and demonstrate our last topic for today, which is the content management system, which is our site management tools driven through our drag and drop platform. Within our within our platform, in the context of your live website, a content manager would log in. As you notice here, I'm logged in as Catherine Nguyen, as an administrator of the store, and I'm able to preview this website and see how this website looks like. Any of the content on this site that has been made editable can be edited. So if I go into an edit mode, for example, I can view what zones are editable and what zones have been made changes to. So if for some reason I wanted to change this particular merchandising zone, remember those dynamic merchandising zone, I can change that from printers to possibly devices and save that rule so that the devices will show up in real time, along with any sort of changes that I may want to make to the Shop All category, where I may want to make changes to landing pages or dynamic content pages, where I may want to display possibly banners or merchandising rules within those pages. All that is doable as well. So in addition to that, I can drill into a specific category, let's say 3D printers, and within that segmented attribute, I can say that only for 3D printers, I want to market a specific sale and drag and drop a promotion into the drop zones that you see here, which are essentially div tags that are marketing zones that your business users can drag content into. So it's simple as drag and drop and selecting the image from your image repository, specifying the link and the alt text for SEO purposes, and saving that image within the site. In real time, it shows the unpublished changes, and the business user can also go ahead and move these contents from one zone to another with a single click of a button as well. It's that easy. Similarly, product details pages can also be updated. So perhaps I want to embed a live video in here. I can do that. I can go ahead and drag and drop a content element here. And these content elements are configurable where your team or our partner community can extend and provide different controls. They can literally drag and drop, and that's now officially out as part of our latest 2017.2 e-commerce release. That it was recently released. And this is how easy it is for you to drag and drop videos. When you're ready to publish, it's just a matter of clicking on the publish icon and selecting publish to instantaneously publish those changes to your website, or possibly schedule them at a future date and time. So maybe I don't want to stay up late Friday night. I can do this way as well. An additional capability of the platform is also to handle the merchandising and boosting of products within categories and subcategory pages. And that's also facilitated through our category management system, where you can manage the category, subcategory pages, the actual printer pages. Maybe I want to go into a specific category, subcategory page and boost the products within that using our drag and drop interface. I think by now you'll agree that any business user with minimal to no training can use our native drag and drop site management tools to easily manage your dynamic shopping experience and marketing campaigns for your B2B customers. Also, for your B2B customers, you'll probably agree that they'll be much more self-sufficient with a platform like NetSuite Ecommerce by being able to easily explore all their payables, all their invoices, and being able to make payments, and also be able to manage their quotes and place orders through our dynamic shopping engine. And so in summary, what I'd like to emphasize is that instead of being consumed by operational challenges that come with point commerce solutions, you could leverage a world-class unified B2B e-commerce platform that NetSuite offers with absolutely no integration with NetSuite ERP, CRM, order management, giving you real-time visibility to your transactions, to your customer activities, and allow you to grow your business at a much faster pace. So with that, I thank you for your time today, and I'll pass controls back to Owen Fail.
Thank you, Praveen. All right, so I'm going to briefly cover two customer case studies. The first one is POS Supply Solutions, and they're a distributor of point-of-sale and transaction supplies. And they actually started off as a garage business running on Excel spreadsheets and later QuickBooks. But as their business became successful and the operation grew, its outdated, disconnected systems could no longer support the business, while also providing a modern B2B commerce experience. So as a first phase, they migrated from Excel and QuickBooks to NetSuite ERP, but they still kept using a Magento e-commerce site, and this was manually integrated into NetSuite ERP. And this Magento site was becoming expensive to maintain and difficult to do so as well. So since migrating to the SuiteCommerce Advanced platform, they now have a unified solution where NetSuite ERP, CRM, and e-commerce are all reading from the same exact database. It's that single source of truth, touch once across their entire business. And by doing so, first of all, when compared to the Magento website, the SuiteCommerce site has helped drive user engagement with bounce rates that dropped 40%, which is significant. And page visits per session has nearly doubled as well. So the SuiteCommerce site is much better addressing their own customers' needs. And in addition, by moving now everything to the cloud, they're saving money by removing maintenance, integration service, and hosting feeds. And instead of POS having to spend valuable time on technical issues with that migration, their employees can now focus on more strategic business efforts. So it's really win-win for POS Supply. The next example is VHC Brands, and they're a family-owned wholesale business selling home textile goods that are distributed to retailers ranging from small local independent shops to large retailers such as Overstock, Walmart, and Amazon. And as their business rapidly grew, they were struggling to manage and scale their legacy siloed systems, and they were having difficulty accessing the critical data needed to run their business and support its buyers online. So they moved to NetSuite for ERP, order, fulfillment, inventory, warehouse management, and e-commerce. And since doing so, they now have an efficient and online engaging experience where buyers can log into the site, see custom account pricing, inventory availability. Their buyers can generate quotes, place orders, pre-order items, and even have access to additional product content for the retailers to use within their own websites and catalogs, almost like a PIM-like portal. And since moving to SuiteCommerce, their cart abandonment dropped from 7.5% down to 1.5%, still a significant decrease, which is excellent for revenue. And in addition, when they moved to cloud and the whole cloud architecture from local servers, it actually, down the road became more crucial to their business because unfortunately a massive fire destroyed VHC's office and warehouse. And thanks to NetSuite being cloud-based, the company was back in business in only 3 days from a temporary office space. The revenue wasn't significantly impacted, and they could still service their customers. So in summary then, SuiteCommerce offers B2B commerce on a single unified cloud platform with that great B2C-like shopping experience with the required advanced B2B capabilities. And in addition, customers using SuiteCommerce are able to manage expectations to buy, fulfill, and return goods across any channel while maximizing profitability. And of course, it also eliminates integrations between systems and streamlines operations as NetSuite Commerce is part of the same unified platform as NetSuite ERP and CRM. In our last 5 minutes together, we're going to briefly step into question and answer. And please note that any questions that we are unable to get to today will be followed up after the webinar via email. All right, so one of the questions coming in, is it possible to vary price levels by customer signed into the e-commerce website?
Absolutely, Owen. Yeah, that's all native capabilities to be able to do that within the platform.
Excellent. All right, so then there's a question around tables being within website code. I can even tell you just an easy answer. SuiteCommerce does not use tables for layout, so that would, not be part of, that's a common issue, having tables for layout when using response design. We actually just use CSS for layout as well as div tags.
Yeah. Only if you put them in place.
Yes. And then the question, next one is, in the employee-facing, customer master view, there's a financial tab where, they're able to set terms. Is this able to be exposed up to SuiteCommerce for a B2B customer to select terms on checkout instead of using a credit card?
Absolutely, and I believe we showed that. But if the question is more that customer is able to toggle the terms as they're checking out, it can be facilitated. But by default, it shows the actual terms assigned to the account.
Thank you, Praveen. All right. Then the next one is NetSuite able to integrate with third-party PIMs?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The more upmarket customers we work with, whether we have customers definitely leveraging Riversend, we have some open source PIMs, customers leveraging EnterWorks, it's all definitely doable, along with even document asset management systems or DAMs for that matter.
Okay. Praveen, as we didn't touch on this too much during the demo due to time constraints, could you briefly describe a bit of the comparison functionality that's available as a suite solution?
Sure, absolutely. So comparison, as a product comparison, allows you to highlight the different attributes that might help a customer distinguish how one product differs with another product. So you as a business user can configure based on item and item types what those actual attributes are. So it doesn't have to be necessarily the same attributes across your entire store. It could be that a category of items you want to highlight based on them being electronics. You want to highlight their power supply, versus for printers, perhaps you want to show their DPI. So things of that nature can not only be displayed in a tabular manner, but also customers are able to share those comparison results and print them out as well.
Great. Then another one, switching topics a little bit. Do we offer social support, such as Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest?
Yeah, so natively to the platform, we offer full social media support to allow customers to do social sharing like Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest and Google+. That's all native, including add this capability. Now, there is also a suite solution that NetSuite offers for Instagram to allow customers to tap into the Instagram feed, which then allows you to moderate the actual content being posted to a given hashtag by your customers that you may advertise, so that then you can feed that into your product details pages or product listings pages or into any marketing content pages you may have. In addition to that, it's also important to note that we have social media partners or Suite app partners like Annex Cloud as an example, who are able to extend that functionality further to potentially even aggregate that data within our business management platform and allow for things like potentially allow for some marketing against that data.
Excellent. Thank you, Praveen. So at this time, we're at the top of the hour. So we're going to close out the webinar for today. And I appreciate all of you attending. And as mentioned, any questions that we weren't able to address in our time today will follow via email after the webinar. And in addition, in a few days, you'll also be sent a link of the webinar recording. Once again, thank you for joining, and I hope all of you have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.